Bay Area homeowners nervously watching the Southern California firefight can take action now to help them recoup any losses if their neighborhood is affected by fire. We've talked about maintaining a defensible space around your home. Now we'll focus on what's inside. We welcome to the 9 Hillary Murphy, a realtor with Village Associates Real Estate in Orinda. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You sent out an incredibly emotional and informative email last week based on what we're seeing in Los Angeles. You had one great tip for homeowners. Tell me what you want us all to do.
Sure. Well, this is deeply personal. My family lost a home in the Tubbs fire in 2017, and having been through that experience and watching friends lose their home in the Palisades, my heart is just broken for things people are losing and everything they're going through. My tip for homeowners that I sent out last week was to videotape your belongings. Document all your possessions inside your home. It's really important, and it'll help you recoup your losses in the case of the worst case event, which would be a total loss of your home.
And you made a point of saying you can't just do it once and think, okay, we're done. I think about how much our home has changed in just the past few years.
Yes.
This is something we should be doing annually?
Absolutely. I think put a calendar reminder around your birthday or your mammogram or something you do every year. We don't remember the things we buy throughout the year, and you certainly don't remember all the things you've bought and owned for the last 10 or 20 years that you might have been in your home. So do it annually, keep it updated, video and photos. It goes a long way in recouping your losses if the worst were to happen.
And so if the worst happens, like you saw your parents go through, how does that help us? It's an important part, reimbursement, but it's also critical, and we need that money.
Absolutely. I mean, you've worked your whole life for these possessions and your belongings. It's your life in your home. So my father had taken over 150 photos of their belongings. He had opened every closet. He had opened every drawer.
That's great.
It was incredible. And it wasn't in the heat of the moment. He did this well in advance of the Tubbs fire, just out of an abundance of caution. Yeah. And in the follow-up to the fire, when they had to talk to their insurance agent, it was invaluable in how the process went for them.
Well, thank goodness he did that. Is there anything else you can share from your experience of watching your parents go through this that could help us?
Yeah, and for every homeowner, I mean, make sure your policy's up to date. Most people set up their policy when they buy their home and they never think about it again. But the cost to rebuild, it's gone up and up and up in California. And so you really want to make sure you have adequate coverage, that you have extended coverage in case you need to replace your home.
That story of being underinsured just came from so many people, especially up in the North Bay. You've been helping families buy houses in the East Bay, mostly in La Mirinda.
Yeah.
La Mirinda made headlines for the past year or so about the number of insurance policies canceled, insurers saying we're not going to issue new policies. Do you have home buyers and even sellers who are thinking of insurance as kind of a critical piece of that puzzle?
Absolutely. If you're thinking of buying a home or selling a home, insurance is now a critical piece of the process. It used to be an afterthought.
Right.
You used to get into contract, go get your insurance policy, and move on with the deal. Nowadays, it needs to be first and foremost in your search process. Involve your broker early, your insurance broker.
As in, give me the address you were looking at, and then the broker will tell you, look, I can't insure that, or this is what the cost will be, and you have to figure, we think about the cost, we think about the interest rate, but this is another major factor.
Absolutely. Prices have gone up for insurance, and you want to know before you write that offer exactly what your insurance cost is going to be, if you're going to qualify for a traditional plan or if you're going to need to go with California Fair Plan. And the cost of those two plans are very different.
I do know someone who bought a home not in La Mirinda, but recently, and had to go with the Fair Plan. Their home butts up to some open space, and I think their insurer said, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Some important news for sellers who may also need to think about costs when it comes to fire prevention.
Absolutely. I mean, getting your home ready for sale is involved anyway, but there's now a layer of fire prevention and fire hardening that's required in a lot of municipalities around California. So brush clearing, removing mulch from the perimeter around your house, these are requirements now. They're not optional. And sometimes the cost adds up.
And that's on the seller?
Usually, yes. And it's different city to city what's required. So check with your local fire district on what they're requiring.
If you can look, you've been doing this quite a while. If you can look back even just 5, 6, 7 years, this wasn't even part of the conversation.
No, this is in the last 2 years. Really, when the large insurers started pulling out of California and started pulling back, it changed the landscape. We're seeing new contingencies and contracts related to insurance. So buyers can include an insurance contingency with their offer, which protects them in the case that they can't get insurance on the property.
Wow, so I'll buy your house for, 1.5, but if I can't get insurance, then my deal is off the table. Have you had any deals like that fall apart?
No, sorry, not fall apart, but I have encouraged buyers to include an insurance contingency. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I remember, back when you and I talked, I think just, 3 years ago, it was the land of no contingencies, right? I don't care what's buried in the basement.
Yeah.
It looks like that's changing a little bit.
A little bit, it is. It is.
Are people still buying in Lombard? Of course they are. But I mean, a lot of people do think of fire concern.
Absolutely. Fire concern is on their mind, but people still move to Lombard for excellent schools, great weather, beautiful surroundings. It's a very special place to live.
Yeah.
But they do need to know about the insurance costs and precautions when they buy a home.
You know, and even as we're seeing in Los Angeles, there really is no part of the Bay Area that's safe from wildfire.
No, it's not just folks who live in the woods anymore. I mean, fire is affecting everyone. It's coming through the downtown of the Palisades. I mean, these are the center of people's towns.
Yeah, I remember seeing Santa Rosa burn. Hillary Murphy, it's great to connect with you. Thank you. Like I said, it's not often that and I'll be honest here, it's not often that I get an email from a realtor that's both informational and emotional, and yours was both. So thank you for all the help that you've given people.
Thank you. Our thoughts are really with everyone down in LA right now.
Absolutely.
So wishing them the best.
Thank you, Hillary.
Thank you.